One thing I've heard for years is that you can't run sets or plays in NBA 2K.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
I'm here to tell you that that's a complete lie. But what sets can you run exactly? And how can they help you win? By the end of this video, I'll give you 4 different sets, 2 from 3v3, 2 from 5v5, and a play that you can use from each different set that can give you an advantage over your opponents. Be sure to watch this full video because each set can be used to make your offense even more overpowered. I'm only going to give a brief sample of each, so if you'd like to hear more about a particular set, let us know in the comments. First up, we have Old Faithful, Pick and Roll. Pick and Roll is probably the most popular set not only in 2K, but all of basketball. If you have a guard and big with great chemistry, you can create all kinds of opportunities to score. Your spacing and potential sets you can run will vary depending on if you have an inside big or a popper on the floor. Pros for this set are, it allows your guard to 3-hunt, it forces the back end defender to play up high, which can leave the paint wide open. It forces the defense to communicate, often leading to a lot of mishaps and easy buckets. If you have a pop on the floor, the fear of the potential pop creates space to score on all 3 levels. And lastly, you have your lock on the weaker defender in the corner for easy backdoor cuts if need be. Cons for this set are, it requires reading the floor. It's a very predictable offense, especially if you have an inside present. And lastly, if your pick and roll combo isn't on the same page, it will ruin your spacing. Most of the time, we're so focused on the 2 people in the PNR, we forget that there's another person sitting right there in the corner. Well, if you have a sniper in that corner, I have the perfect play for you to run out of this set, and it's called Handles. Start in a traditional half-court pick and roll set with your point guard and power forward setting the screen and your lock in either the left or right corner. The power forward will set the pick for the guard, and instead of slipping right to the paint, they'll instead set an off-ball screen for the lock in the corner. The lock will then flare up to the wing, and the power forward can either stay in pop corner or roll to the basket, all depending on what they see on the floor. Due to most guards not having pick dodger or even having it at a high enough level, it creates just enough space and enough chaos for an easy wide open look or an easy slip to the basket. I also recommend you set this play up so your guard is taking the screen towards their dominant hand, so it makes the fade a lot easier and it makes them even more of a threat from 3. If nothing's there, you're already set up in a set that I'll talk about next, which is going to allow your guard to attack the mismatch on an island whenever they want. Okay, now we got the basic one out of the way. I promise, all of the sets I'm going to show you from here on out will be game changers, including this next one, which is honestly one of my favorite 3v3 sets to run. Up next, we have Overload. Overload is like an overpowered isolation set. By moving a player from the corner to the same side wing, it gives the guard a full side of the floor to operate on, instead of only just the middle. This set can be perfect if you have a guard who likes to operate on one particular side of the floor, or if you're trying to put a weaker defender on an island where the help defense can't save them. The pros for this set are, it allows you to work both ISO while using movement and cuts. It keeps the other defenders out of the play. It allows your guard to focus on their strong suits and their strong sides of the floor. And it allows them to get baseline very easy for easy dunks or fades. The cons for this one are, it's very difficult to run if not used to it. It forces your guard to only work one side of the floor, and smarter defenders can funnel them back to the help defense if not ran correctly. One of the most simple yet effective plays to run out of this set is an Overload Fifi. Your power forward will be at the wing to pull the big out of the paint, and your lock will be in the corner with the PG on them. And your point guard is going to be set up on the opposite wing. When the play is called, the corner is going to cut to the basket, and as that's happening, the player at the wing is going to fill their spot in the corner. Due to this play's motion, it can free up a few things. The backdoor cut might be open for an easy dunk on the smaller guard. If the big on the wing tries to help the paint, or gets caught lacking, the corner will be wide open for an easy 3. Or if the on-ball defender hesitates or even tries to help one of his teammates, it's an easy wide open 3 or dunk for your guard. While 3v3 is a lot more free-flowing than 5v5, there's still a lot more sets and plays that you can run. If this is some of the content that you're interested in, let us know in the comments and we'll try and do our best to make more 3v3 content going forward. Our first 5v5 set is a great set to run if you have a center with vision and guards who can get open off ball easily. Bucks has been used since the early seasons of the NBA 2K League, but has really been made famous by 2K legend 𝙑𝙘𝙧𝙘𝙗 in Bucks GG in Season 5. Bucks can be used with an inside, but it's even more deadly with the pop on the floor, but I'll get into why a little bit later. This play mainly uses your center and guards, but you can also get your forwards involved depending on what the matchup is and what the defensive positioning is. You'll set up in a spread set with your center at the top of the key. You have one guard on one wing, you have the other guard on the other, and then you'd have the two forwards filling the corners. The ball handler will pass to the center on the reset, and then the point guard and shooting guard will wrap each other and use the center as a rub screen in order to try and get the lock switched off of the point guard. The back end defender can't help much as they have to sit low to help defend cuts in the paint, which can leave one or both of the guards wide open for three, especially if the defense doesn't communicate. If they do get the switch, the point guard can take advantage of the mismatch and freely score on the non-lock. Remember how I talked about having a pop on the floor with this set could be deadly? Well, having a shooting big is really how you can truly maximize the effectiveness and spacing of this Buck set. With everyone on the floor now being a threat to shoot, it keeps the defense from being able to help their teammates if they get beat. Most importantly, the back end defender is now forced to make a decision. Do I continue to guard the paint, or do I step up to guard the center who's now a threat to shoot? Whatever decision they make, it opens up the opposite, allowing the offense to attack way more freely on all levels. With the smaller player models in this year's game, it allows you to be way more creative with your offense. It also allows just enough spacing to run this next set. The last set we have is called Horns. Horns is a popular basketball set that's used from the youth level all the way up to the pros. But when it comes to the game of 2K, no team could run this set as well as 𝙑𝙬𝙗 Gaming. The positioning for the set will look like this. Start with your point guard at the top of the key. Your center will be on the left elbow. Your power forward will be on the right elbow. Your shooting guard will be in the left corner and your small forward in the right corner. This set uses off-ball screens in motion to free up an open look for a shooter on the floor, and can be used with either an inside or a pop. This set is even more effective because most players who didn't play basketball before they got into 2K will not know how to defend it. There's a lot of plays that you can run out of this set, but for this one, we're going to take a page from Steph Curry and the Golden State Warriors. This play is called Elevator. You'll have your team set up in the same exact formation. Point guard at the top, center at the left elbow, power forward at the right elbow, shooting guard in the left corner, and small forward in the right corner. When you call go, your shooting guard is going to cut baseline and then up through the two bigs standing on the elbow. As soon as the guard runs through, both bigs will set down screens and try and close the elevator doors on the nearest pursuing defenders. The play won't always be clean, so the shooting guard will have to read the play and route it to the open spot for a wide open three. As the game of 2K continues to grow and evolve, the more real basketball concepts we'll be able to have in the game. But hey, if you want to learn even more sets and plays from 2K Film Room, click this link right here.